It is 4,567 million years ago, the start of Precambrian time and the Hadean Eon. The solar system forms, and the sun was very dark, only about 70% as bright as it is today. At 45,000 million years ago, the Earth forms. Earth forms in a cloud of dust, with minuscule rocks slowly clashing together with gravity and forming bigger rocks, over and over again until it all added up and forms the Earth. 50 million years later, a giant planetoid hits Earth, and the Moon forms from its fragments. The Moon is only about 64,000 kilometers away from Earth. Earth's day is very short, only about 7 hours long, and the Earth spins quite rapidly compared to our 24-hour day now. 41,000 million years ago, the late heavy bombardment began. This is an interval where a large amount of asteroids collided with the early planets, and it caused water to begin condensing 4,280 million years ago. Each asteroid held a small amount of water that was transferred onto the planet when the asteroid hit. Most of the water evaporated immediately due to the hot surface of the Earth, but it eventually cooled. The heavy bombardment of asteroids ended 38,000 million years ago. 3,800 million years ago. Earth's atmosphere becomes mostly ammonia, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and methane. Formation of carbonate minerals started to reduce the atmospheric carbon dioxide. Since this was so early in Earth's history, there is no geologic record of the Hadean Eon. Archean Eon. Let's go through the eras in the Archean Eon, shall we? In the Eocene Era, which was 4,000 million years ago to 36 million years ago, the Earth's crust cooled and solidified. In the next era, the Paleoarchean Era, which was 36,000 million years ago to 32,000 million years ago, the supercontinent Valbora formed, at only 36,000 million years ago. At 35,000 million years ago, monocellular life started, which most of you will know as prokaryotes. This is when the first oxygen-producing cyanobacteria or algae was formed. They formed stromatolites, or a layered rock that now holds many of the oldest microfossils found. Next is the Mesozoic Era, which was 32,000 to 28,000 million years ago. At 30,000 million years ago, the atmosphere had 75% nitrogen and 15% carbon dioxide, which compared to our 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, 0.9% argon, and 0.03% of carbon dioxide today, a very different setting. All organisms were underwater. Finally, we have the Neoarchean Era, 2,800 million years ago to 2,500 million years ago. At the very beginning of this era, the supercontinent Valbora broke up. This is the oldest record of Earth's magnetic field. 100 million years later, the supercontinent Kennerland formed. Plants, or other organisms that have used photosynthesis, increase in population due to more access of sunlight when the continents moved. Proterozoic Eon. Here we have the Proterozoic Era. In this era, we have the Silurian Period, 25,000 million years ago. The world's first free oxygen is found in oceans and atmosphere. Some stable continents first appeared, allowing us today to look at rocks from this time period, 2,400 million years ago. The Great Oxidation event happened, where oxidation precipitates and dissolves iron, created banding iron formations. Organisms living without air are poisoned by oxygen. A bit later in this period, the Huronian Ice Age began. The Ice Age was caused by the elimination of methane in the atmosphere from the oxidation, which lowered the temperature. Next, we have the Hadean Period. I hope I pronounced that right. At the beginning of this period, at 22,000 million years ago, Organisms with mitochondria became capable of respiration, and many organisms that couldn't breathe became able to. Next, at 2100 million years ago, the Hadean Ice Age ended, and so did the Cretaceous Period. Here's the Orogenian Period. This is when intensive mountain development or plates crashing together. At about 20,000 million years ago, oxygen starts accumulating in the atmosphere. Then there is the Silurian Period. Complex single-celled life appeared. Yay! In this period, there are abundant bacteria and archaeans, leading the way for other organisms. Mesoproterozoic Era. The beginning of this era is the Carboniferous Period. Photosynthetic organisms continue to spread and increase in population. Oxygen builds up in the atmosphere above 10%, closer to the 21% today. Formation of the ozone layer starts blocking ultraviolet radiation from the sun, allowing more organisms to survive on land. 1600 million years ago. Nucleated cells appear. Origin of the ancestors of all animals, plants, and fungi. Next we have the Cretaceous Period. Green and red algae are abound. Then we have the Devonian Period. I really hope I'm pronouncing these right. 1200 million years ago, spore and gamete formation indicates origin of sexual reproduction. This is awkward. 1,100 million years ago, formation of the supercontinent Rodinia. Next we have the Proterozoic Era. At the beginning of this era, there is the Devonian Period. 1,000 million years ago, multicellular organisms appear. 950 million years ago was the start of the Silurian/Varangian Ice Age. Who names these? 900 million years ago, Earth's day is 18 hours long. The moon is 350,000 kilometers from Earth. After this, we have the Cryogean Period. Close to the beginning of this period, 750 million years ago, was the breakup of Rodinia and the formation of the new supercontinent Pannotia. This is the end of the last magnetic reversal. 650 million years ago was the mass extinction of 70% of dominant sea plants due to global glaciation, which is the snowball Earth hypothesis. After this, we have the Hadean or Devonian Period. Here, at 580 million years ago, soft-bodied organisms developed. Jellyfish, Tribrachidium, and Dickinsonia, which I think its namesake is from Charles Dickens, they're both really old, appeared. Then, 570 million years ago, it was the end of the Stuartian or Varangian Ice Age. Shelled invertebrates appeared at this time. Finally, at 550 million years ago, Pannotia, the supercontinent, fragmented into Laurasia and Gondwana. Now, here's Queenie, and she will direct you from the 500 million years ago to today. Hope you enjoy.
In the beginning of the Phanerozoic Era, which is 500 million years ago, the Cambrian period was still happening. After the mass extinction that just happened, the first fish emerged. Life became more evolved and was everywhere, and this formed almost all of the major groups of plants and animals that exist today. The first animals to do so were probably through carcinoids. They were thought to be the missing link between insects and crustaceans. Ordovician Period. 489 million years ago, the Great Ordovician biodiversification event begins, leading to a great increase in diversity. Within each of the major groups of animals and plants, many new varieties of animals and plants appear. Diverse marine invertebrates such as trilobites become common. Varieties of plants start colonizing the lands 1465 million years ago. 460 million years ago, fish split into two major groups, the bony fish and the cartilaginous fish. The cartilaginous fish, as the name implies, has skeletons made of cartilage rather than the harder bone. They eventually include all the sharks and rays. 443 million years ago, the glaciation of Gondwana, a mass extinction happened during this time. This is the mass extinction of many marine invertebrates. This is also the second largest mass extinction. 49% of genera of fauna disappeared. Silurian Period. 425 million years ago. The coelacanth, one of the most famous living fossils, species that have apparently not changed for millions of years, splits from the rest of the lobe-finned fish. 420 million years ago. Stabilization of the Earth's climate. Land plants and coral reefs appeared. Birds, fish, or jaws, which are sharks, insects, spiders, centipedes, and plants appear on land. Devonian Period. 416 million years ago. Earth Day is 28.8 hours long. Ferns of seed-bearing plants appeared. Formation of the first forest. 400 million years ago. Land animals and winged insects appeared, and today we also have winged insects. 376 million years ago. The Veloid traps large igneous province volcanic eruption. More gases are being put into the air, which makes the atmosphere hotter. 375 million years ago, vertebrates with legs such as Tiktaalik appeared. Atmospheric oxygen level is about 16%. 374 million years ago, a mass extinction happened, which caused 70% of marine species to go extinct. This was a prolonged series of extinctions occurring over 20 million years. Evidence of atmospheric influence marine fauna waters below the planet. Surface temperatures dropped from about 93 degrees Fahrenheit to about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. 370 million years ago, the first trees appeared. Carboniferous Period. Mississippian Epoch. 350 million years ago, beginning of Carrier Ice Age. Large primitive trees developed. First winged insects, fluorescences, the few club mosses, horsetails, and gymnosperms. Oxygen levels increase. 324 million years ago, synapsid vertebrates, the ancestors of mammals, are appearing on land. Seas covered parts of the continent. 318 million years ago. Animals lay amniotic eggs appeared. Phanerozoic Era. 300 million years ago, the first reptiles appeared. They were ancestors of crocodiles, dinosaurs, and pterosaurs. Atmospheric oxygen levels reach over 30%. Earth Day is 22.4 hours long. The moon is 300,000 kilometers from Earth. Giant arthropods populate the land. Transgression and regression of the seas caused by glaciation. Deposits of coal form in Europe, Asia, and North America. Permian Period. 275 million years ago. Formation of the supercontinent Pangaea. Conifers and cycads first appeared. The Earth is now cold and dry. Sailback synapsids appeared. 252 million years ago. Period of great volcanism in Siberia. This creates a high atmosphere and releases lots of carbon dioxide, making it hotter. Oxygen level dropped from 30% to 12%. Carbon dioxide level was about 2,000 ppm. Temperatures reached 50 to 60 degrees Celsius on land and 40 Celsius on the sea surface. 251 million years ago. A mass extinction, the Permian Triassic. Possible 480 kilogram wide meteor crater in the Wilkes Land region of Antarctica. Earth's worst mass extinction eliminated 90% of ocean dwellers and 70% of land plants and animals. The Mesozoic Era, Triassic Period. 251 million years ago, Pangea starts to break apart and shift away. Survivors of the Permian Triassic extinct, spread, and recolonize. Reptiles populate the land. 240 million years ago, sea urchins appear. 235 million years ago, evolution split between dinosaurs and lizards. Giant marines populate the seas. First small dinosaurs appear on land. 225 million years ago. The proto-mammal appear or emerged. 214 million years ago. Meteor impact left a 100 kilometer crater in what today is Monacoaguen, Quebec, in Canada. 205 million years ago. First evidence of mammals from Morgan, New Condo. 201 million years ago. Central Atlantic large igneous province volcanic eruptions. Mass extinction killed 20% of all marine families. Jurassic Period. 199.6 million years ago. Earth is warm, there is no polar ice in sight. Cycads, conifers, and ginkgos are the dominant plants. Age of the dinosaurs, giant herbivores, and vicious carnivores dominate the land. Flying reptiles appear. 180 million years ago. North America separates from Africa. The animals that were once in Africa and North America when it was still Pangea have then separated and now are in the two continents. 167 million years ago. Meteor impact makes an 80 kilometer crater in what today is Russia. 166 million years ago. Evolution of split of monotrans from primitive mammals. 150 million years ago. First birds appear. 148 million years ago. Evolution split between marsupial and eutherian mammals. 145 million years ago. Meteor impact makes a 70 kilometer crater in what today is South Africa. Cretaceous Period. 145 million years ago. Period of active crust plate movements. So there were, because of the active. Because of the period of active crust plate movements, there were a lot of earthquakes. 133 million years ago, meteor impact leaves a 55 kilometer crater in what today is Australia. 125 million years ago, Africa and India separate from Antarctica. Flowering plants appeared. 120 million years ago, global warming event starts. Carbon dioxide levels are 550 to 590 ppm. Proliferation of single-celled organisms changed ocean composition. 116 million years ago, first birds with beaks without teeth appeared. 110 million years ago, crocodiles appeared and snakes evolved during the mid-Cretaceous. 105 million years ago, South America breaks away from Africa. Formation of the Antarctic Ocean. Earth has no polar ice. Oldest group of living placental mammals has developed. 100 million years ago, Earth's magnetic field was 3 times stronger than it is today. Also, the first ants have front ends, and the western interior seaway separates from North America into Laramida and Appalachia. 85 million years ago, Australia starts to separate from Antarctica. 70 million years ago, meteor impact left a 65 kilometer crater in what is today Russia. 68 million years ago, the T-Rex thrived. 67.5 million years ago, Deccan traps a large igneous province. Volcanic eruptions started in India and produced a great amount of lava and varieties of gases, which also make the atmosphere hot. 65.5 million years ago, mass extinction of 80 to 90% of marine species and 85% of land species, including the dinosaurs. These mass extinctions keep happening, but the outcome is that the animals that survive, they thrive and continue to evolve. Cenozoic Era, Prologue, Paleogene Period, Tertiary Period, Pliocene Epoch, 63 million years ago. End of Deccan tribes volcanic eruptions in India. Flowering plants become widespread. 70% of new birds' lineages evolved within 5 million years after the extinction of the dinosaurs. Social insects achieve ecological dominance. Parents of the placental mammals like marsupials, insectivores appear. 60 million years ago, earliest known ungulate or hoofed mammal, formation of the Rocky Mountains, 55.8 million years ago. Major global warming. World pool temperature averaged 23 degrees Celsius, which is 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit. The CO2 level concentration was 2,000 ppm. Eocene Epoch. 50 million years ago. India meets Asia forming the Himalayas. 45 million years ago. Earth Day is 24 hours long. The moon is now 378,000 kilometers from Earth. Modern mammals appear like rhinoceros, like camels, early horses, and lemur like primates appear. 35.6 million years ago. Another one. Meteor impact makes 90 and 100 kilometers on what today is Virginia and Russia. Global temperature dropped 10 degrees Celsius during the Hadean Epoch. 34 million years ago. Global cooling creates permanent Antarctica ice sheets, which today are melting away from all the global warming. 30 million years ago. Australia and South America separated from Antarctica. Appearance of many grasses. First elephants with trunks like today's elephants appear. 27.8 million years ago. Like Burita, Colorado, supervolcanic eruption happens. Miocene Epoch. 23.03 million years ago. African-Arabian plate was now joined together with Asia. 21 to 14 million years ago. Miocene warming period happens. 14 million years ago, circumpolar ocean circulation builds up Antarctica ice cap. 14 to 6 million years ago. Global temperature drops by 4 degrees Celsius. First raccoons appear. The continent's interior are drying up. Forests give way to grasslands. 6 million years ago, upright walking bipedal hominids appear. Pliocene Epoch. 4.4 million years ago. Appearance of an early hominid genus. 4 million years ago, North and South America joined at the Isthmus of Panama. Animals and plants cross the new land bridge. Ocean currents change in the new, now isolated Atlantic Ocean. 3.9 million years ago. Appearance of the Australopithecus, which is a genus of hominids. 3.7 million years ago. Hominids inhabit eastern and northern America. 3 million years ago. Formation of the Arctic ice cap and then the accumulation of the icebergs. Climate become cooler and drier. Spread of grasslands and savannas and long-legged grazing animals thrive. Quaternary Period. 2.58 million years ago. Several major episodes of global cooling or glaciations have happened throughout this time period. 2.4 million years ago, Homo habilis have now finally appeared. 2.1 million years ago, Yellowstone supervolcanic eruption has happened. 2 million years ago, 2 omega hominids emerged. Today we are still making tools and using them as everyday essentials and resources. 1.7 million years ago, Homo erectus first moves out of America. From then on, different groups of people have moved out of Africa and have spread along everywhere, basically everywhere, and they all came from Africa. And today, we still follow the ways of tool making and how they survive, and we get some of our characteristics from them, like the Neanderthal, and then threads through Europe evolved, so they now have characteristics that can help them survive in different parts of Europe.
Beginning of the Stone Age, 1.7 million years ago. Homo erectus first moves out of Africa. 1.3 million years ago. Yellowstone supervolcanic eruption happens again. 1.3 million years ago to 820,000 years ago. Sharing glaciation happens in what today is Sierra Nevada. Presence of large land animals and birds which we are familiar with today. 7,900,000 years ago. First use of fire by hominids, and today we are still using fire as one of our essential resources. 700,000 years ago. Human and Neanderthals lineages start to diverge genetically. Each of the groups starts to evolve characteristics that will help them survive. 6,800,000 years ago to 6,200,000 years ago. The Nebraska Glacial Period. 6,400,000 years ago. Yellowstone supervolcanic eruption. 530,000 years ago. Development of speech in Homo heidelbergensis. 455,000 years ago to 300,000 years ago. The Middle-Lacandon Glacial Period. 400,000 years ago. Hominids hunt with wooden spears and use stone cutting tools. Today we still follow the method of how the tools were made, but now with mechanics, machines, technology, and robots. 370,000 years ago. Human ancestors and Neanderthals are now fully separate populations. Almost everyone has some DNA of the Neanderthals in them. 300,000 years ago. Hominids routinely use controlled fire so fire cannot spread. 230,000 years ago. Neanderthal men spread through Europe and evolved, so they now have characteristics that can help them survive in the different parts of Europe. 200,000 years ago to 130,000 years ago. Recent Illinoisan Glacial Period. 160,000 years ago. Homo sapiens, which are less specific versions of us, have appeared. 125,000 years ago. Eocene stage or Ricin interglacial period. Hardwood forests grew above the Arctic Circle. Melting ice sheets increased sea level by 6 meters. Today, ice sheets are melting away quicker than ever because of global warming, and that is caused by us humans. 110,000 years ago. Start of Warren and Wisconsin Glacial Period. 105,000 years ago. Stone Age humans foraged for grass seeds such as sorghum. 80,000 years ago. Non-African humans interbreed with Neanderthals, causing them to have Neanderthals DNA in their children. 74,000 years ago. Tobo volcanic eruption releases large volume of sulfur dioxide. 71,000 years ago. The bow and arrow gets invented that is used to catch the prey from distance. Fast forward. During this fast forward, Homo hominids have still been evolving and creating new tools, and during 28,000 years ago, Neanderthals disappeared from fossil record and has probably moved or became extinct, because there has been no fossils found that they lived during the rest of that time period. And 5,000 years ago, development of writing. Today we are still evolving slowly, and there have been new words coming, more machines, robots, technology have been more advanced, and humans and species on the earth are still evolving slowly, and inventions have been better. Humans have been more advanced than before, and our faces and our characteristics have changed for our climate and our environment.